Ryan, nice to have another catch up with you as well. And of course, I guess what you're looking at, the last two games has shown exactly what you wanted to get, a good response from your players.
Yeah, both for different reasons. On Saturday, from a defensive outlook, thought we defended the box really well. Clean sheets are always important. And then taking that into Tuesday night where we scored some goals, which we've not done often this season.
One thing that me and Morsey remarked about on Tuesday night, the one area we thought there was a lot of positives was that, yes, you were against a younger Liverpool side, but you seem to be getting the ball much more quicker into the final third. Is that something that you wanted and something that you've worked on since the Chesterfield game and the earlier games?
Yeah, it's something that we've been working on throughout all of pre-season. It hasn't particularly showcased that itself in the recent games, but it's definitely been a focus that we've been working on, more heightened since obviously the start of the season. Lack of goals against Barrow, obviously Chesterfield, and then Swindon at the weekend. So I felt in the first game against Barrow we were getting into them positions or getting in around the final third, but then just lack quality. Chesterfield don't need to go there again. And then Swindon again, we got into the final third a little bit more, but just again missed that. We're missing that little bit of creativity, that little bit of quality, that little bit of calmness that you need in and around them areas. So it's important that came to the forefront on Tuesday night. Yes, it was against a young Liverpool team, but we had a young team out ourselves. If you go through the team, we only had a couple of senior players, the rest of them are still quite young, so it was a good opportunity for them to showcase what they can do as well.
And what will they do to the whole group, the bid amongst the goals, those players who played?
I think it just gives everybody confidence, the players that scored the goals, but then the rest of the team as well. If you're scoring goals, it breeds more goals. We've seen that last year. We went on runs where we were scoring goals every week, and it just brings that confidence right away throughout the team to knowing that if you're staying in games, you're going to get opportunities and you're going to take them. And it's something that we've got to make sure we turn around quickly, especially with the league form.
It's a bit difficult to just say development players, because I don't think you should be calling them development players in the terms of the likes of Finn Roberts and Thibaut, who you brought in recently. But they've got in amongst the full first team squad. What's your overall view of how they're progressing, how they fitted into full-time professional footballers?
I think they've both fitted in really well. Finn more so, he's been with us for a little bit longer, so we've been able to see a lot more of Finn, but he's settled in the group really well. He's obviously had to move and move up here, which is a big change in itself, and he's adapted to that. I think that helps when he's with such a good group of players that can make it comfortable for him. And he's showcasing what he can do day in, day out on the training pitch. He works hard, he's got a good mentality, wants to improve, wants to get better. And if you're doing all that, you're on the right path.
And for Thibaut?
Yeah, again, obviously he's been with us on a shorter period, but since coming through the door, he's another one who's got a great attitude, works really hard. Something different to the types that we've got from the younger players in that position. He offers something different, and that was why we wanted to give him the opportunity with us and see how he progresses and develops.
We'll all be watching the transfer window, of course, because it's getting closer and closer to closing down. Just from your point of view, how's it going for you, for your supporters? Have you got any hopes that something could happen?
Yeah, we definitely want one through the door. We've been working hard on one this week. I'm not sure whether that one's going to come through. We heard this morning that there's some difficulties, so unfortunately that one won't happen. But we have got other options that we're looking into, and hopefully by the end of deadline day we've brought at least one through the door.
For you and the rest of the managerial staff, it's been a big rebuilding programme, no doubt about that, throughout the summer. You've got a lot more options now. How satisfied are you that you've got those options, and how better feeling is it for you that when you have those stronger options?
Yeah, the more options, the better, and especially off last year's difficult times when we had lack of options, we went through tough periods. We think we've assembled a really good group, whether we bring another one in or we don't bring another one in. Yes, we've had quite a lot of new faces, and we lost obviously some key players at the end of last year. So it's about finding out what the best balance is and what the best solutions are to get the best out of the individuals that we've got. Omar's obviously a massive plus. He's back training this week, so he should be involved come Saturday. Again, it's another person, another body that adds goals and brings goals to the team. Obviously Chris Long got some more extra minutes the other night, scored 2 goals from that, probably should have had an hat-trick, but again, it's somebody that brings goals to the pitch when they're on the pitch. So getting them 2 back up to speed is obviously going to be really important for us as well.
Yeah, because what it has actually done then is that treatment room is getting emptier by the day, really. You know, you've still got your long terms in Jack Powell and Tom Booth, but it must be a good feeling for you and again the manager that you've got those options, and make it difficult for you to choose a match day squad, because already we've seen a couple of players not make that.
Yeah, and that's what the players who haven't been playing the minutes, and the ones that played like on Tuesday night, they've got to give the manager a headache in terms of showcasing what they can do to make these decisions difficult. Obviously Tom Booth is going to be 50-50 for this week. He had obviously a reaction last week. We thought he'd been able to be involved in the Swindon game, but he had a little reaction from it, so we had to just take it back a couple of days. So he's very close. If he's not involved this weekend, it should be the weekend after, as long as there's no setbacks. And then other than that, it's Jack Powell, and Jack Powell should be by the end of September back involved in the squad. So touch wood, we don't pick any long-term injuries up, and most of the players are coming back fit and fighting now, so hopefully we should be able to compete on all fronts.
It must be a good position to be in, you know, when you've got your full group more or less out training day in and day out, all wanting to get on that first team sheet.
Yeah, it's good to do the work with them, and it's good to have the options, because different games require different types of personnel. But the more players we've got to choose from, it's only going to benefit the group and the team.
Well, it's a long trip. It's the first one that we've ever been to as well, off to Bromley. What are you expecting? You've already found out what one side can do coming out of the National League. These are the other team that come out of the National League for their first ever taste of Football League action. What are you expecting? We're
expecting a really difficult game. They've had a really good start to the season. Obviously they won the first 2 games in the league. They obviously got beat to Bradford, but they had a player sent off after about 8 minutes, I think it was, so you don't know what the outcome of that game would have been if they were at full strength. But they're really well organised, what they are. They're a transition team, and they counter-attack really well. They've got some real pace throughout the team, very well organised, and they've got goals within the team. So we've been watching them heavily this week. We think we know areas where we can hurt them, and we just got to make sure that we concentrate on what we can do to get some goals and come away with the 3 points. The one thing that you will have to do, and I'm pretty sure it's not questionable, it will happen, you'll have to match their momentum, because they're carrying on a high, aren't they, from where they've come from to taste this, you know, real Football League action. Yeah, and momentum and that confidence is key, and you see it all the time through football, don't you? And when you've been used to winning games, you find ways to win games, regardless if you play well or you don't play well. These are a team in form, and they've had a good start to the season, and they'll be looking to continue that, and it'll be up to us to make sure we get things right to try and put a stop to that.